Hello everyone, my name is Margaret Blackburn, some people call me Maggie. Now then, I might look very young on this video, but actually I was born in 1935. Now then, for all you clever clubs who are good at maths, I'll let you guess how old I am. I'm 85. Anyway, we're going to go back right to the war. I was only 5 when the war broke out. Oh gosh, Second World War. I'm going to talk about First World War in a minute, okay? Now the First World War, as I say, I was only 5 when the war broke out. So I don't really remember an awful lot about it. I was evacuated with a lot of other children, but my mum went with me to a place called Melton Mowbray, which is in Leicestershire. We stopped on a farm. Again, the only thing I can vaguely remember is a cow called Daisy. Now I was only there a week and then we came back home. Of course I'd started school by then, and I can remember in our playground there was an air raid shelter where when the sirens went, which meant when all the enemy planes were coming over, then we had to go in this air raid shelter. And again, another little memory, our teacher made us stamp our feet on the concrete floor and sing so that we wouldn't hear the planes going over. Back home, everyone had an air raid shelter in their yard, as we did, and it was shared by 4 neighbours. When the sirens went, nearly always early hours of the morning when you're all snug in bed, didn't have a dressing gown in those days, oh no, on with your coat, on with your shoes, into the air raid shelter. I had a parrot at that time called Polly, and poor old Polly used to have to come in the air raid shelter with us. And while we told stories, we sang, played Ludo, all sorts of stuff like that, until the siren went again, which meant that all was clear and we could go back home. And then, guess what? Just got nicely tucked in bed, off it went again. Now the school I went to, it was a big school, and unfortunately part of it got bombed, but fortunately no one got hurt. Some of my school friends who lived in another street, their house got bombed and unfortunately they did get killed, but that was all part of the war, I'm afraid. To pass the time on as well, as children, no television, no computers, no these fancies, I don't know what you call them, all these fancy things what you children have now, but like I say, Ludo, snakes and ladders, all sorts of things like that. Now then, I'm going to go back a little bit further still, well, a lot further back, to the First World War. And my dad, he went in as a young soldier. He told a bit of a fib, like a lot of soldiers did at that time. Said he was 18, when really he was only 17. He went to a place in France called Ypres, where maybe some of your great-granddads, grandparents would have heard of. He was a stretcher bearer, which meant if any of his comrades got shot and fell down, him and his other pals had to go carry the stretcher across to where there was like a first aid part. Unfortunately, my dad got shot twice. Once in the jaw, and it went through to the other side, which the surgeon got out and gave to his mother, and which I now have. And he also got shot in the thigh. And he also, I'm afraid, lost a kidney. And at the time, the surgeon told his mother that he would not live until he was about 18. But he lived until he was 66, and, that was his war, really. When he was a soldier, like every other soldier, they were all given the New Testament. And he carried that around with him all the time. All the time. He was only in maybe about a year and a half, I think. And he carried that all through the trenches, through France, and it came back without a mark on it. I presume it was kept in a pocket, or I'm not too sure. But I have that, plus this little bullet, which, thinking about it now, must be 100 years old, Ellie, would you say? Ellie's nodding. 100 years old. So I hope that's given you a little bit of an insight of what happened during the war, and as I say, I have now some of you, I don't know, may even know me from Hawthorne Tree School, or if parents went to Hawthorne Tree School. I was a dinner lady there from 1976, and then when Ellie Blackburn, I think you've heard of her, was born, Mum was working, so I retired, looked after her along with my husband, and then when she started school, Hawthorne Tree at 4½, I was asked would I like to go back. And actually this week I have decided to retire. So there you are, girls and boys and parents. Hope you enjoyed my little chat and you haven't been too bored. Thank you for listening.